Google services on your Android or iPhones may be tracking your location even without your permission. A study by Princeton researchers for the Associated Press found that Google stores location data even if the user's location history is turned off. Google says it provides clear descriptions of the various places where it tracks user locations, and people can turn them on or off at any time, as long as you know how to do so. For more on all this, we're joined now by KTVU tech expert Ryan Eldridge from Nerds on Call. Ryan, thank you for this. So Google is tracking us even when we think that they aren't. Does this surprise you at all?
Not at all. Not at all. I mean, we're in the age where our eyes are being opened to what these big tech companies are tracking about us, from Facebook to Google. Even Apple has made privacy sort of their big competitive advantage over all of the other tech guys. So here's the thing: is it's not so much that we don't know that our phone is tracking us. I mean, we use GPS, we use Google services like Home Assistant to ask, to get things delivered to us. It's pretty obvious. We know that. But the problem is if you have an issue with them tracking you and you turned it off, Google is still tracking it. They've just hidden it in a different setting. So here's what happens. Essentially, you go in there and you turn off location settings.
Right.
And what it does is it turns off Google's passive tracking of your phone. So if you're walking down the street and it just kind of hits a service area and it tracks you and puts a little pin on a map somewhere, and then you can go back and see that in your Google account. But active tracking happens when you're opening up apps or using Google services like Google Search or Google Maps. It also is putting a pin on there. And to turn that setting off for that tracking, you have to go to an entirely different section of the phone. And it's buried deep down in some menus that you really got to dig into.
You really do. I mean, you have to jump through quite a few hoops. I was looking through the steps here. I mean, can you, briefly explain to folks how they might be able to find this place where I can completely turn off my location history?
Sure. First thing you want to do is go to myactivity.google.com. What that'll do is show you what they know about you. Then you can go
That's
to
a scary place to go, by the way. I visited that before we came on. But yeah, sorry, go ahead.
It records everything. If you have a Google Assistant, or you use Google Maps or anything, it records everything. So even when it knows when you're going to bed at night, I mean, it knows everything. So be careful, look at that, see what Google knows about you. But then go to myaccount.google.com. And in there, under personal info and privacy, you've got to click manage your Google activity, then go to activity controls, then location history, and turn that off. Then scroll all the way back up and go to web and app activity and turn that off. If you don't turn off both, Google will be tracking you when you are using certain Google services like Google Search, Google Weather, Google Maps, and anything else that you're invoking sort of a location setting.
And you're sure, Ryan, that even after I go take all those steps and turn off those the location services, I will no longer be tracked at all by Google?
I would not guarantee it, because they're already being relatively obscure about what they're doing and how they're doing it. Now, Google is saying, hey, look, we're being pretty honest about it. We've got this toggle switch. You can turn it off yourself. It's very easy. And that makes a lot of sense for tech-savvy people or somebody that's really looking into it. Yeah. But it doesn't make a lot of sense for middle America. Most people are not going to know they're being tracked. And this is a big business for Google. Google uses this data for advertisers. And they made $95.4 billion last year off of their ads services. And so this is big, big money for them. They want to hide it. They don't want you to see it. And hopefully this AP article will sort of open the eyes to legislatures or whoever we need to get to kind of say, hey, Google, knock it off. That's not cool.
That information, very important to Google. All right, that's Ryan Eldridge from Nerds on Call. Appreciate your time today, Ryan. Thanks.
You're welcome.